Hi, I'm Nate Moore. This is Excel video 184. We're done with the lookup stuff, and over here, if we hover over it, Math and Trig. Don't let Math and Trig scare you off, and don't tell your teenager we're not going to use any of the Trig functions when it comes to medical practices in Excel. We're not going to mess with any of that. But there are a bunch of helpful functions buried in here that I want to show you, and the first one we're going to start with is down here. It's called SUMIF. And you're familiar with the sum function, where you can just take a bunch of numbers and add them up, and sum is a pretty basic Excel function. But there's a cool thing you can do called SUMIF. What I have here is a list of collections from August 1st. I know the payer, I know the amount, and I know the location. And rather than just total all these with the sum function, what I want to know is tell me how many of these payments were from Medicare, how many were from Blue Cross, and how many were from United, just say. So I know the total is $39,000, but I can use this SUMIF function to figure out how much is Medicare, how much is Blue Cross, and how much is United. And if we click over here, all that's going on is three things. The first thing Excel wants to know is tell me what the range is. The range says where's the criteria I'm looking for. And so what I did is I said from A4 to A22, here's all my payers. Go look in this range, and when you find them, the next question is, what's the criteria? What am I looking for? And notice what I put here was D6. I said, look in cell D6, and Excel can figure out that's Medicare, but the reason I did D6 is so I can copy this formula down, and when I go to row 7, it's going to look for Blue Cross. When I go to row 8, it'll look for United. So I got the range, where is the data I want to test, the criteria I'm going to test for, that's the second one, and then this third one is the sum range. And all the sum range says is, okay, if I find what I'm looking for in column A, what do you want me to add up? Well, I said, well, add up what's in column B. So essentially what this function is saying is go down through column A. If you find Medicare there, look over in column B, take that number and add it up. And that's exactly what it does. And then you can copy this formula down and get Blue Cross and United. Let's work through one more example live so you can see what I'm up to. What if we took these three clinic locations, and I'm just going to copy and paste the names over there to make my life easy. I'm going to say equals SUMIF. Okay, the first question is, what's the range I want to look for? And my range is over here now. That's all my data right there. And I'm going to lock in that range so that when I copy the formula, it's always looking at C4 to C22 for the criteria. And I locked it in with the F4 key. That's how I got those dollar signs to appear. Comma. Southwest is my criteria. When you find Southwest, what do you want me to add? This data right there, and I'll lock that in with F4 as well. So go down the C column. When you find what's in F6, add up what's in the B column. That is all there is to making SUMIF work. And then we're going to use this little format painter trick to make this look nice. We're going to take this and copy it over here. So I've got a total. And now that I'm ready, all I got to do is drag that down. And now I can see of August 1st payments, $8,900 was from Medicare, $7,400 was from my North location, $14,000 from my Central, $14,000, a different number, was from United. That's how SUMIF works. Give me a range. Here's the criteria for that range. If it meets the criteria, here's my sum range, Excel tells it, or here's what I want to add up. That's what I wanted to show you about SUMIF. Stay tuned next time. There is a SUMIF function, and then new is it's called SUMIFs. You can put multiple criteria and add those. I'll show you how to do that next time.